Well, howdy folks, welcome back. So today I'm working on my Gravely 16G riding mower here. This has been a great machine. So what happened is there is a small slit in this tire. It's right there and you can barely see it. What I did was I put rubber cement down in there and then taped it to hold it shut, and I let it in there for a few days. Actually, it's been a couple weeks now since I've been busy. But you know, that's not just going to be your all fixed, but the slit is probably an inch long. So there's only one spot that was relatively deep. I don't know what I hit, maybe it was previous, I don't know. But I had this kit that, I don't remember if it's a slime kit or if it's just a tire repair kit or whatever, but it had these patches in it. You can cut the size. So what I did is took a wire brush on the inside and smoothed out the rubber in there, and then I took rubber cement and put a patch on the inside. I don't know if this will work, but my thought is the patch is cheap, why not try it? This tire has extremely good tread on it yet, so I'd hate to get rid of the tire, but sometimes whenever you get these sidewall cuts like that, there is no saving it. The main issue that I found whenever I tore this down, because my thought was I was just going to go in here and repair this tire and put it back on the rim and be up and running. Well, so there was a couple issues that I found. So here's the rim, and the reason why it's all cleaned up and pretty now is because there was slime inside this tire. I bought this probably 7, 8, 9 years ago. I don't know. Never did anything really to it other than there was a problem with the engine, which was a starter. There were some other minor problems and stuff. But apparently that slime, if it's left in a tire too long, it will corrode the rim. So take a look at these pictures here. And in this picture here, you can see how it completely ate the paint and the metal and put a pinhole through the rim. So in this picture here, you can see the hole after I cleaned it up. So I took and sandblasted, I should say bead blasted the whole rim up, because I wanted to get down and see if there was any other pinholes in here. So in this next picture here, you can see it clean. It was plain as day. There was a pinhole through there, especially when I held it up to the light. So after evaluating the rim, there was 1 or 2 spots that were really major concerns. So I cleaned up real good, and then I put brass over it. So I got the cutting torch out, put the brazing tips and stuff in it, and then I laid brass in those holes. And I believe the rim is going to be okay now. So that's what I did after that is just, cleaned it up after I got it bead blasted, wiped it down good, and then I painted it. And on these are supposed to be white, so I went ahead and had some white paint on the shelf, so I threw some white paint on it, and you can see the rim looks really good. In fact, I can't even hardly see where that pinhole actually was now. So with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this rim and stuff put back together. But I want to make it a note again, be very careful with that slime. So I read on the website, and it says right on their website, says it's basically for emergency uses only. It's not meant to leave in your rim or in your tire. It says for passenger vehicle or a car, it says only to leave it in there for a few days and then get the tire fixed. And then it says for UTVs, four-wheelers and other stuff around your house, ride mowers and whatnot, it says you can leave it in there for up to 2 years. But after that, they will not guarantee that it will corrode the rim. So be very careful with that. So I'm going to assume that all the rims on this rider here has slime in it. So I'm eventually going to take them all down, which is kind of a pain. I don't really want to do that, but I would rather fix and clean it out and then get the tire rim cleaned up and not use slime anymore after that, unless there's a major issue or something out there. But okay, with that said, guys, well, let's start putting this rim back together. It's pretty much simple. We got to put our valve in it, we got to put our bearing races in it. So I went ahead and ordered new bearings, let's get to it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we got to get the races put inside this rim here from these bearings. And so these bearings are Timken set 2. The bearing number itself because you have the cup and cone. The bearing number itself on that is LM11949, and on the cup the number is LM11910. So there's your cup and cone. But Timken, like I said, they sell it as a kit, so you get the bearing or the cup and cone. Also, I ordered a new seal, and this is also a Timken seal, and that part number is 204005S, and you can see that. All right, so there's all of our new parts, also new valve stem and all that stuff too. So like I said, what we need to do is we need to get these races pushed down in here, and then we can go and get our bearings packed, and then we also can install the seal. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and pack these bearings real quick, and you can do it a couple different ways. You can do the old hand method with the grease in your palm. That's part of the reason why I have the gloves on. But I also have one of these guys, and in my opinion, this is the way to do it. And all you do is kind of drop the bearing down in there, and you just press. I usually walk it back and forth a little bit. All right, and then you can see it packed all the way up through the top and everything. So I would recommend getting one of these because they save a lot of work. And also remember to use gloves because this is just a messy job. And there you go, there's the other one. All right, so this guy can be put away. Okay, so we can set that aside. So these races, they just go in there and they don't take much force. So this is a 1 3/4 inch bar stock. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down to the garage and push these in with the press. You can tap them in if you want. That's up to you. All right, so we got the races pressed in, and let's get the seal put in. And the seal goes on the valve stem side. So we'll take this seal here. Don't forget to put this guy in first though, because that would kind of screw you up there. So we'll drop that guy in, and then we can go ahead and get our seal pressed in. All right, so the seal's in. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the valve stem installed, and this is just soapy water. But this is how I've always done it. I don't actually have the correct tool, but this works well. And basically you just pry up and pull it right in, and that's it. The wrench method has always worked for me. I didn't grab the right wrench. Usually you get one that fits over top of it a little bit better, it works better. But so with that said, now we're going to get the tire installed. All right, so how I've always put tires on, and also you want to make sure this is a directional tire. Not that it really matters on this, but this is the inside, so that means the tire is going to be rolling most of the time that way, so it needs to go on like this. So what I've always done, lubed it up, like I said, just soapy water, and pushed it on like that. Use a rubber mallet, and it's on. Next, lube up this side, lube up the rim a little bit. Now these I do use, I don't actually have the spoons, but usually I put a knee there and then just walk it on. And there you have it. That's how I was taught to put tires on, and that's the way I've been doing it for years, and you can see it goes really fast. Alright guys, let's put some air to it. If you're wondering why I don't have the valve stem in there, is usually to seat the bead, you want as much air to go in there as you can. And there I got it already. Alright, yeah, I got it already. I was pretty pleased with that. That was pretty quick. So now that the bead's seated, you can do this pretty, if I can get a hold of it. Well guys, doesn't appear my patch worked, because it's definitely still leaking there. Alright guys, I just wanted to bring you in quick. So like I said, I could not get this tire here to seal, and that's because that's a pretty big slit on the sidewall, and that's very common. So whatever I did, I could not get it sealed. I didn't want to put slime or anything back in it, so I went ahead and got a tube. And if you don't know, the tube size matches exactly what the tire size is. So there's a 16 by 6.5 by 8, so that's what this tube is. And there's the tube that I got. Any tube will work. You can go to Tractor Supply and get them, but I just wanted to kind of show you how to install a tube, and it's really simple. And that tube looks extremely big for this tire, honestly, but it'll work fine. But so what you want to do is break down one side of the tire, which I already did, and then basically you take the tube and you stuff it in the tire, and then you kind of work it around the rim too. And I failed to mention, you have to cut your old valve stem off. Unfortunately, I just put this brand new one in. They do make a tool to pull these out. They work okay, but I have actually a bunch of these laying around, so I just went ahead and cut it off. I didn't want to deal with it. So work it over to the valve stem. I'm going to get the valve stem up through. And sometimes doing this is kind of more of a feel. I'm going to work this tube the rest of the way around. And right there's the valve stem. I need the tube to slide a little bit, just like that, and put that valve stem up through. Alright. And then after that, just kind of make sure that the tube's laying in there like it should. And that's pretty much it. So after that, next thing you do is just put this side back on. And the major thing you want to watch on this is be very careful not to pinch the tube, because that kind of defeats your purpose. And this is what I mean. Be careful not to pinch the tube with your spoons. I'm just using these for now, but if you have spoons, and that's it. So now we got our tire in, or tube in. Let's put some air to it. Sometimes you have to hold them up because the tube wants to sink down in there. Alright, it all feels good. Right there's about 16, so we're gonna leave it alone. But there you go. Now I don't have to worry about that slit in there. And you can see how big that slit was now, because it's opening up a little bit. But you know, at least that I can run this tire now, since it has decent tread. And I bought two tubes here, one extra in case that side there gives me any issues too. These are usually $5-6 a piece, or upwards to maybe $13, depends on where you buy them. So all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this mounted. Just real quick, I wanted to point out, so the book here has the diagram of how it goes together. So there's two spacers, bushing, and then it's the seal, the cone, the race, and then vice versa. So there it is there, and it does actually give you the right part numbers here, the LM11949. for the cup or the cone, and then LM11910 for the cup. So all right, so let's get this put together. So right there they are. There's the 2 washers. Here's the bushing, seal side in, and we just slide that guy on. If you're wondering, I have a bunch of this old Ford Lincoln Mercury wheel bearing grease, and I've been using a lot of it for a while now, so I'm just trying to use it up. But I always smear some in here, just like that, and then we put our bearing in, just like that. All right, so like I said, there's our bushing, then our washer, just like the book shows, and then the nut. Okay, so it's tight there, and then we'll just back it off just a nudge, about right there. There we go. Put our cap on. And that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and put the wheel weights off camera on, and that's pretty much it. All right, guys, since everything's back together here, I'm very happy with this. I really wish I could have used the tire with the patch in it instead of putting a tube in it, but tubes, there's nothing wrong with using a tube. You know, it bought me more life with this tire. Like I said, I didn't want to get rid of this tire because look at the tread on it. And if I would have bought another tire, I would have probably bought 2, because I'm having a hard time finding this one anyway. But like I said, I found these tubes. I believe they were on eBay, or it was an internet site. I found them, but they're 16 by 6.5 by 8 tube. And like I said, they were $5 or $6. I think Tractor Supply was $11 or something like that. Anyway, they work great. That's one way to get around, you know, a patch and a tire. But I will say, I would not recommend using slime or any type of that kind of stuff, because it does appear to eat the rim if you don't get it out of there within roughly around 2 years. So please keep that in mind. That's a live and learn for me. I did not know that. And like I said, it's on the Slime's website. They don't recommend it in anything for more than 2 years. The bearings that was used here, and I'll leave it in the description down below, was Timken Set 2. And it comes with the 2 bearings in it. That way you can buy just this set. And also the wheel seal is a Timken as well, and it's a 204005S. So I will leave everything in the description down below. So with that said, guys, I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, take care.